when y'all were starting out this time period that we're talking about, was Dilla yet? Is what I'm asking. Like his earliest beats, had he found what we now know as what he did? Quest could probably answer this question
I think
too.
I think as a listener, there were already signs of what was coming in the future. So sort of like, and you know, I've got my hands on a lot of these like 92 beats, 93 beats. I will say that yeah, even for back then, that was some really unorthodox thinking that, you know, I was like, wow, even early, like I'm pressed to find something that I'm like, that's not really whack. Like you see that he was searching for it. Of course he perfects it, but I don't know. That to me, like coming out the gate, it was an immediately like a jarring thing of like, this isn't like how the hip hop I grew up sounding is made. So, but it didn't sound like an amateur making it. It sounded like someone doing it on purpose.
Right. But you all recognized at that even early on that he was a special talent.
Yes. When I heard Dilla's beats, I was like, this it. This is it. Early. Because first of all, you think it's just you and your neighborhood, like, oh, he's just good for your neighborhood. But then you start branching up, you're like, wait a minute, this guy is really incredible.
Yeah, he good everywhere.
And like, you know, like I said, he started off with just the pause and cassette, took that, then went to this and went to that, learned on. It was like, man, I was amazed. I was just happy to be along for the ride for the most part before we even got a chance to develop what Slum Village would come to be. I was just looking at him like, how is this kid? He my age. Well, how is he doing? You know what I'm saying? I'm looking right, we the same age. You know what I'm saying? And he was just killing it.
What year were you born, RJ? Like, how old were you at the time when this is happening?
92. I'm about 8, 9 years old.
Okay, so when you're first hearing this, does it hit you different? I think as an adult, it hits me different simply because, you know, I knew what the lay of the land was. For me, the lay of the land was like what Tribe was doing and what Dilla was doing and what Public Enemy was doing, what Marley Marl was doing. And so Dilla's arrival is more akin to that of like Godzilla coming to town. Like, wait, what the hell is that over there? You know, that sort of thing. But for you to come, you know, to be much younger, it's not like you had an established lay of the land of what once was like, oh, black and white television, and suddenly like in the Wizard of Oz, everything turns to color. So for you though, like how are you receiving this at a young age?
I knew it was dope because he was producing for my kids group. So he was doing some of our demos.
Oh wow.
Wait, really?
For sure.
Tell me about this. I didn't know this.
I had a group called first it went from Spoiled Rich Kids, Kid You Not, you know what I'm saying? And,
kids always in it.
and he was producing the demos for us because of the studio. We was all signed. So my pops had us signed. He had Slum signed. He had Paul Rosenberg, Eminem's manager, was signed to the label. And
he was rhyming?
Yeah, he was rhyming.
I need evidence.
He was dope. He was dope.
He was dope too.
Paul Bunyan. Yes. And Skinny Supreme.
Did you know this, Fontaine?
Yeah,
Skinny Supreme.
It's in Dan's book. He talks about it a little bit. Yeah.
No, I just never heard of the music. That's all.
And I never heard the music, but I've heard the story.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was all of us up there.
And this Barack Recordings?
Nah, this is Hoop Sounds. This is in 92 when he opened the studio with Sally. And we would go up there and I would see him. You know, I come home from school and seeing Dilla make beats in my kitchen. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, oh, okay, this is like a big brother, and I'm seeing him, you know what I'm saying, record, and then he was making demos for us. So I always knew, you know what I'm saying, he was dope.
So who's teaching you how to make beats at this time? Like, how old were you when you started messing around on machines? And what technology was at the studio?
I started making beats the first time I was on a DMX drum machine, just programming in the drum machine.
Okay.
And that was just picking up Pop's equipment. When I actually started producing was around the age of 13, 14. And just being at the studio, I was like, man, I might as well give it a shot. So I asked my pops, and he was like, man, I'm not teaching you nothing. You know what I'm saying? Get the machine, figure it out if you want to do it. So I sat there and figured it out. Eventually, the guys come to the studio. He like, play him some beats. This is around like 97.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And 98. And I played them and they laughed at the beats. Dilla Bartina T was just fell out laughing. And, you know, they like these beats funny as hell. And so after they leave out, you know what I'm saying? Dilla like, yo, man, let me show you some stuff. So he showed me, you know what I'm saying, how to work the 3000.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay. So he like, work on that. And when I come back, I'm gonna show you some more stuff. I want to hear what you're doing. So he would come back in, check up. Okay, what you got? Okay, this how you work the effects in the 3000 to get delays and stuff. And then eventually, you know what I'm saying, Corrupt came to Detroit, and I ended up producing some songs for Corrupt.
How old were you at the time?
15.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
So when Dilla heard the beats that I did for Corrupt, he was like, okay, now you ready. And then that's when, you know, it just, I kind of got in the mix with that, and then producing on Climax with Dilla.
Right.
And mixing the record and all of that stuff. That's how I ended up at the video shoot with y'all.
Ah, nice. Nice. Damn. So you were literally young RJ.
For sure.
Yes.